welcome to the Keyboard Road Warrior with me, Movie Scouse 007, where we play Euro Truck Simulator 2 with their laptop and its keyboard. So, we successfully reached our destination of Paris, and we've got enough money to buy a garage in Paris, which is, I think, what we're going to do. So let's actually, we've got our, oh no, we don't have enough money, sorry, I beg your pardon. So what we need to do is go and repair and sleep. So that's what we're going to do first. So let's look at the map. Alright, so left turn and then follow the road into another left. So this is going to be the continuation of the expansion of our empire. Don't think we're going to have enough money to buy a truck at the end of this, because obviously a truck's 80,000, and I'm wondering whether we're going to... We need 30,000. Is it 20? In order to purchase the... I had a feeling that was going to be the case. I just missed it. Yeah, never mind. So, yes, we'll be touch and go as to whether we can afford the garage, but it is just round the corner from where we're going, so it won't take too long out of our busy day to get that sorted. And obviously we won't have enough money to buy a lorry, so we won't have to do that. So let's get repaired first. I hope this isn't too expensive. I don't remember whether we crashed or not. £718. Actually, I seem to remember us getting an excellent, because we had a really short journey. Okay. So let's engine off. Let's get some rest. Alrighty. Oh, we do have enough. So we've got a little bit more than we need, but not enough to purchase another lorry. But that will be our goal at the end of this. So essentially we just need one lorry for, I think, Amsterdam. I think we just need a lorry for Amsterdam. And then we can concentrate on filling Paris up. And our garage is right there. So let's now this one is Paris, and as I've already stated, where a garage has a local manufacturer, we will buy the trucks of that local manufacturer. So this is going to be a Renault garage. All the trucks bought here are going to be Renaults. So we've done that. We've got £45,000 left. That's not going to be enough for... but just out of interest, we're going to check out how expensive... Oh, of course. Let's see how expensive the cheapest is. Let's see how low we can get that. We can't. Right, I bet you we can get... Here we go, 100,000. Let's customize that, see how inexpensive that can get. Oof. 93. 88. Looks like the cheapest we can get this is 88,000. I wonder if we can't get that cheaper elsewhere. We just haven't discovered another one. Right, so we've rested and recuperated. We've repaired the truck. Let's get ourselves a job. Oh no. It's freight market, and put ourselves in Paris. We've been to Stockholm, Hønefoss, Katowice. That's not Oslo. We've been to Copenhagen. We've been to Kolding. No, Milan, we've been to Zurich, Cardiff, Cardiff is the capital of Wales, but we're not going to have enough money by the time we get there. Right, what were the big money jobs? Hønefoss, Katowice in Poland. Oh, we haven't been to Katowice in Poland. Let's go to Hønefoss in Scandinavia. It's a big money job. Okay, let's get my... Yeah, there's a lot of clicking going on there. And that's... There we go. Right. Okay. Let's go pick up our load. Oh, damn it. I've only just got the damn thing repaired and already I'm brushing up against... Like, well, that sucks. Right. Darn it, they really do come quite quickly and then slow down quite dramatically. So you're going to kind of be quick. The trouble is that guy perched himself. Whoa, yeah, perched himself right by the. Oh, what the heck am I doing? I'm going the wrong way. I'm going the wrong way. I'm going the wrong way. Oh, it doesn't matter actually. I can go around this way. Oh, I did want to go that way there because I haven't visited that way. I'm making the dogs dinner this journey, aren't I? Right, well, oh, God, this is some appalling driving. This is not the way to do it. Right. Oh, come on. They really do take far too long to leave junctions. If there's a clear road, you should have your foot down. Otherwise, what you're doing is hesitating. In the UK, hesitation is it's a fault in the driving test. I don't know whether it's a minor or a major, but it's definitely a fault. Oh, actually, we need to go in that lane. Okay. So the Winter Olympics are happening while I'm recording. In fact, they've been going on for over a week. So they're quite near to finishing, and I haven't mentioned it. I'm not a big fan of the Winter Olympics, with the exception of the bobsleigh. The problem is New Zealand, the Winter Olympics is broadcast by a channel called Prime, which is a thinly disguised Freeview channel for Sky. Now, I don't not watch Prime because there are programs I want, and the fact is I don't pay for it, so I'm not actually giving Rupert Murdoch any of my money by watching it. But it does kind of gall me. Well, the fact is that the live stuff is on Sky. You can't watch live Olympics in New Zealand like you can in the UK. In the UK, it's split between the two domestic terrestrial channels, ITV and BBC. In fact, I think actually, no, that's not correct. The BBC had the exclusive UK rights to the Summer Olympics, and I think they've got the same for the Winter Olympics. I think the BBC had the Olympics channels in the UK. Now that is particularly... Oh, hello. We didn't... What the heck happened there? I pressed T and it didn't attach the trailer. There should be more of a noise. I don't remember if there's a noise. Right, so there's a noise to say you can do it. There's no actual noise to say it's hooked. Although, that said, the trailer does... If you're looking in your mirrors, the trailer does jump onto your truck. Onto your tractor unit. Ugh. I'm going to be stuck here for quite a while unless I do something dramatic. So this is my dramatic thing. Ugh, you're kidding me. So the BBC is a fantastic channel for covering a large-ranging sporting event. Things like Wimbledon and the Olympics. They don't just have BBC One and BBC Two, which are the terrestrial channels. They also have the two Freeview digital channels, BBC Three and BBC Four, which, as of the end of last year, went high definition, which is brilliant. They also have the iPlayer. They also have the website, which broadcasts channels. And they have a PlayStation app. And I don't know if they do anything for Xbox, but I do know they have a PS3 sports app. So you can watch highlights, or I don't know, I think during major sporting events they actually subvert it for watching live stuff. But I remember in the 2012 Olympics, I volunteered at the 2012 Olympics. Oh, parking brake's still on. And then, so what I would do is, if I was doing a morning shift, my wife and I both volunteered. So if I was doing a morning shift, what would happen is I would go do my shift, do all the volunteering, have a great time doing that, and then I would come home in the afternoon and I would watch the Olympics until that was done, and then I would watch the highlights of the stuff that I missed because I was on shift. If I was doing a late shift, what I would do is I would get up, I would watch the Olympics live, then I would go and do my volunteering, and then I would come back and then I would watch the highlights of the stuff I'd missed because I was on shift in the afternoon. We did get a tiny bit obsessed with the Olympics in London. And I think One of the wonderful things about the Olympics, the Summer Olympics in 2012, was just how involved everyone in London got and how wonderful it was. How all of the naysayers who said that it was going to cause problems with traffic and that people were going to have to leave hours early to get to work because of the Olympics, and how it was going to increase crime and violence, and how it was going to be a huge burden on the finances of the UK. All those people ended up having to eat their words. London actually made money out of the Olympics. The Olympics were a great success. The transport networks easily survived the event being in London. There was no violence. The only death that occurred was a cyclist was hit by a bus. And as tragic as the loss of that person was, they were actually doing something really stupid. I don't know whether I've made my anti-cycling bias obvious. I may well have. I may well have made it fairly obvious that I have been and am currently a cyclist, and I hate cyclists so much. As a pedestrian and a car driver, and a cyclist at the moment, because we've got bicycles here in New Zealand, because the Christchurch is really quite flat, so it's possibly one of the easiest cities in which to cycle. I still hate cyclists. Selfish, self-righteous, pompous arseholes. Never was a strata of society more pompous, more holier than thou than cyclists. They want other road users to absolutely obey every single road rule, every law of, that is in the statute books. And if you infringe in any minor way, they are hitting your car. They are throwing obstacles, throwing objects at you. They are shouting at you loudly and violently, and trying to embarrass you. And yet they repeatedly infringe and break laws. There are whoa. In the UK there are very few. In the UK there are very few cyclists who will obey a red light. Getting a cyclist to stop at a traffic light is like trying to herd cats. Getting a cyclist to obey road direction rules is like trying to get a child not to spray its food or pour its food all over itself. They constantly want to go the wrong way up one-way roads. Persuading a cyclist that cycling on pedestrian pavements is, in the UK, against the law. It's illegal for a cyclist to cycle on a pavement. Trying to persuade them to get off the pavement is like trying to persuade a member of the National Rifle Association in America that guns actually help in the killing of people. People might kill people, but the gun, to quote Eddie Izzard, the gun helps, because you ain't going to kill anyone pointing a finger at them and going pew pew. Yes, cyclists. I have a well-documented hatred of cyclists as a pedestrian, because in London I am predominantly a pedestrian. I don't hardly use my car in London. We have a car to visit relatives. It's hateful trying to get to some of my relatives by public transport. We don't have a car at the moment in the UK. We have one in New Zealand, which we're going to sell. Is there someone in front of me? I can't see. Yeah, there is. Why is he? Oh, hello. Sorry. hopefully he will bugger off now, because I've given him enough room. Yeah, there we go. Ah, that was annoying. Oh, I didn't do any damage to him, or me, but he did insist on sitting there with his hazards on. It is a kind of semi-realistic in that you would whack your hazards on and you would stop and you would exchange details. But yeah. No, I'm not going to complain about that. I have complained in the past, but I'm actually not going to complain about that. If you twat someone with your car, with your truck, that's not it. You don't just drive off. Well, you do if you're an idiot, but normally you don't just drive off. You stop. You exchange details. You say, these are my insurance details. So we are trickling towards a greater expansion of our discovery of the road network, but obviously the more cities, the more driving you do, the more cities you uncover, and fortunately the more roads you're driving on that you've already driven on. And so what happens is the more cities you discover, you find the slower your oh, sugar. I don't know. Yeah, I think he was trying to get in, and he just wasn't travelling fast enough, and I think he wants to come this way as well. So, Yabu sucks to you, pal. You weren't fast enough. So we've got 29 hours to go. We have 8.5 hours until we have to get some sleep, and 48 hours to deliver this load. So we've got plenty of time. So 29 hours, take 39. Yeah, we'll probably have to have 2 rest breaks on this video. I am quite a way behind editing these things. I'm not editing them as I'm doing them. I'm sort of doing multiple video. Quite a lot of the time I do 2 videos a day, and so I'm quite a way behind. So this is I think video 54 or 55, and I'm editing 43, so I'm about 11 or 12 behind. I'm having problems because I'm using the most basic editing software that's possible to use. I'm using Movie Maker, which comes with Windows, and I'm having problems with it. I'm using a very low-end laptop. Well, it's not a very low-end laptop. I mean, it's... Oh, you're kidding me. What the heck was that all about? Oh, sugar. Okay, did I do any damage to the load? No, good. I was going too slow to damage the load. I am going to have a problem siphoning into... Whoa. Oh, crap. Right, I suspect... Oh, what the hell? I suspect in a second I'm going to see some damage applied to that load. That was pretty bad. That was pretty appalling. Okay. It's not happening yet. It's going to happen at some point because yes. So the Winter Olympics. I'm a little bit. The Winter Olympics. Like I said, I love the bobsleigh. Bobsleigh is a fantastic event that somehow captured my imagination in a way that almost none of the other Winter Olympic events have. I'm not a big fan of ice dancing. I appreciate the technical skill required. I'm not a big fan of things like the moguls and the half pipes and the snowboarding events, and I quite like the alpine skiing events, the really fast downhill events. I think I'm a speed merchant when it comes to the Winter Olympics. Not a big fan of the luge and the skeleton, although that said, it seems to be one of Britain's most successful events, because we've now won in two consecutive Olympics. We've won our Olympians have won a gold medal by sliding down on the bobsleigh run on a tea tray. But I think the Sochi 2014 Olympics has kind of had its gilt edge taken off by all of the political nonsense that was indulged in before the event. The bribery that was and the shenanigans that were required to get the event to Sochi, which is not a winter city, and all of the snow that's in Sochi at the moment has had to be made. It's not natural. Now, there's no problem with that per se. It's just that Russia is a very, very poor country that spends an inordinate amount of money on things that it simply shouldn't be doing so. It simply can't afford to do so. Spending $59 billion on a Winter Olympics, and a part of Russia that's not wintry, when there are plenty of parts of Russia that are much more ideally suited to that kind of event, smacks to me of backroom deals, money changing hands. The same kind of nonsense that's enabled Russia to get the World Cup. Now, we couldn't get Sochi stopped. I don't know what could have happened to get Sochi stopped. Why was the Olympic movement gifting an Olympics to a country that has the most appalling human rights record in the West, in the technologically advanced West? The most appalling record of when it comes to things like false imprisonment, torture, spying on citizens. And just recently, they've instituted anti-homosexual law, anti-gay laws. In Sochi, the mayor of Sochi actually said that people would be arrested if they wore or displayed pro-homosexuality paraphernalia. The wonderful thing about the Olympics movement is that as soon as they did that, you knew that a bunch of countries would do things deliberately designed to flout that law in a massive. Go on then, I dare you. Germany, bless them, decided to have their tracksuits are rainbows. The whole tracksuit is just a giant rainbow. I think that's awesome. There are plenty of nations that have done things with their uniform that have included the rainbow. I think that is spectacularly wonderful. We live in the 21st century. In the 21st century, we need to start accepting that people love in a different way to us. Just because they love in a different way to us doesn't mean that the way they love is wrong, and you've got no right whatsoever to legislate against that and to tell them that they can't love in that way. If I've got a 4-year-old nephew, now at the moment all my 4-year-old nephew loves is his soft toys and his Cars DVD Blu-rays and his Matchbox toys. That's all he loves. But if he were to grow up and decided that he didn't, become aware that he didn't love women, but in fact he was attracted to boys, that is just who he is. And I would have no right to try and persuade him that what he was doing was wrong. It would be a terrible thing for me as a person to do to another person, was to say, the way you feel is wrong. Now, if he was to decide that he wanted to murder people and that was how he was getting his jollies off, then, you know, that would be a completely different matter. That would be him hurting other people. Physically. Emotionally. But if the two men kissing, or the idea of two men being in love, hurts your feelings, I'm afraid your feelings are far too fragile for you to be on this planet, and you should just seriously think about getting on a rocket and finding somewhere else where you can happily revel in your own bigotry and stupidity. So that's one of the things that's taken the tarnish off. I mean, it being in Russia's taken the tarnish off. Let me be clear. I don't hate Russia. I hate the political infrastructure that is currently ruling Russia. Vladimir Putin is about as bad for people of Russia as it's possible for a leader to be. He was a former director of their KGB. He's a man who probably wishes that the Soviet Union was still in existence and that Russia was still part of a larger communist state. It's not. Now, he was president for 2 terms, then he created the position of prime minister so that he could stay in power, and had a puppet installed as president, Dmitry Medved. Then after a year he decided, no, I want to be president again, so he ousted Medved and had a presidential election. Now, if you were living in Russia when he was having this presidential election, you would not be aware that there were any other candidates. You would not be aware that there were any other candidates for presidency, because the only person featured on billboards was Vladimir. I like to bare-chestedly run through rivers and become a gay icon, Putin. It is quite funny that his idea of presenting himself as a masculine, virile Russian plays sweetly into the whole muscular gay man iconography. I find that wonderful. That I don't think he's aware that's actually what he's doing. I can't see a damn thing. That's one of the things I'm really looking forward to, is having a much bigger screen and a much higher definition. And a much larger processor, so I can instigate mods with better lighting systems. I've got a lighting system installed and it works better. I've got a sort of a mod that gives a more realistic illumination to AI traffic, but it's not nearly good enough. It's better, but it's not nearly good enough. And I wish I had. I really wish I had a better computer to play this game on. But 3 months. But I'll be back in the UK. I won't have any kind of computer to play this game on for at least 3 to 4 weeks. So I'm trying to make the most of this while I can. Okay, this might turn out to be a bit of an error. Yeah, this is going to be squeaky bum time. Oh no, we're alright. I think that's actually the computer popped it, spawned traffic going in our direction, which is fine. So I think we're probably still. I don't know where we are. We're possibly in Germany. I don't think we're still in France because I haven't seen a toll road for quite a while. And France does love its toll roads. I do seem to have the occasional bit of bad luck at toll roads. Right. Let's get ourselves on a bit of straight road. And then, I've still got plenty of time before we've got to sleep. I am going to have to take a break in a bit to upload my footage. But other than that, we should be fine. So, we're alright for fuel. We're alright for fuel. We got more than 3/4, I think, of tank of fuel. I don't know. I think the fact that I can't just watch the Olympics whenever I want to, which was what I could do with the Summer Olympics, because it was just the BBC had at least one channel running Olympics at any given time, whereas I can only watch the highlights. And the trouble is, the highlights of the Olympics tend to clash with a lot of the stuff that I'm already watching, and so I can't really watch it in the way that I was watching the Summer Olympics in 2012, which does mean that I can't discover events. Now I'm rooting, as I always do, in that bizarre nationalistic way that we do nowadays, because we've created these national tribes. But I do root for the Brits, the GB and Northern Ireland, wholeheartedly, and rooting for the moment. Our curling teams are doing quite well. Our ladies, they missed out on the gold and silver playoff, but they're in the bronze medal playoff, whereas the men are guaranteed a medal because they're in the final, the gold silver final, and so we're doing well in the curling. One of our ladies is doing all right in one of the speed skating events, the short track speed skating events, although she kind of stuffed up in the longer distances. She's doing well in her favourite distance, which is 1,000 kilometres. 1,000 metres, sorry, 1,000 kilometres. God, that event would go on for quite a while. 1,000 metres. So we're not doing well in the bobsleigh, which frankly is disappointing, because it is my favourite event. Now, I said that the Winter Olympics don't grab me watching them. However, friends of mine and my wife and I became obsessed with the Vancouver video game. And we played that incessantly. We're going to be stuck here. I had a feeling I should have overtaken him when I had the chance. And of course now I'm trapped, so I can't overtake him. And we're going to be stuck here for a little while, I feel, because I think there's a traffic jam of some description for some reason or another that I can't explain. Yes, so we became obsessed with the Vancouver 2012 game. And we've had quite a laugh. You can play up to 4 people at once, and you sort of take turns, or with some of the events you play simultaneously. And we have an absolute scream, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing whether this Sochi one is any good or not. I might hang on until the PS4 version of it comes out, because when I get, as you know, if you've watched the earlier versions of it, this playthrough, I am as soon as I get back to the UK, I'm going to have a PS4. Now it's going to be expensive to get that together, because the controllers are £50 each for the PS4. You get one in the box, but I would have to spend £150 getting additional controllers, and that's going to be expensive. Do you know what? I am going to pause here because I'm up to 40 minutes. I've only got another 10 minutes, and I'm going to have to do something to get rid of this traffic jam. Otherwise, I'm going to be stuck here for 10 minutes, because this isn't going to change. So I'm going to pause here and I will see you in a second with the clear road ahead. Okay, so what I did was I saved and then I loaded the save, and what that does is it gets rid of the traffic in front of you. So it's a stream of traffic coming our way. Hopefully, yeah, there we go. No. There we go. We're being let out. Primarily because we bullied our way out, but hey. Yeah, there's that damage. So no excellent today. Or no excellent in this video. So while I was sorting out the traffic jam and uploading the first half of this video, I had a quick check to see if there was going to be a Sochi 24 video game. And there's not going to be a Sochi 24 video game in the same way there was a Vancouver 2010 video game. The only thing they've got is Mario and Sonic Go to Sochi 24, and I won't be buying that. The plumber, I don't understand the fetish for the plumber, I don't get it, and Sonic never really did it for me either. When I had a PS1 I didn't have, I had a Sonic demo, but it never really grabbed me. When the PlayStation 1 was about, the way that you got demos, because it wasn't connected to the internet in the way that the PS3 and the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One and the PS4 are, I bought the official PlayStation magazine, and that came with a disc taped to the front, and the disc had demos on it. And so that's what you did, you played the demos. And if you liked the demos, you bought the game. And as a result of those demo discs, I discovered a couple of games that I really liked that I probably wouldn't have been interested in otherwise. I discovered ESPN Extreme Games, which was certainly something that I wouldn't have normally been interested in. And I discovered Destruction Derby. Yeah, I had a feeling that one was coming. So we got 62,000, so we're close to... what I might do is I might concentrate on filling my Paris garage with the Renaults while my brain is still wrapping its head round that. Otherwise I might get my tiny little mind might get confused and start putting Volvos in there or Renaults in Amsterdam. And so we'll get Paris done. And that way we will be done with, because this is the way it's going to work. There are a handful of manufacturers. 2 of them are unfortunately in Sweden, and I am still humming and hawing as to whether to put a garage in any of those places, and I've resisted so far. I've been to Oslo and I decided not to bother with a garage. But the truck manufacturers I can definitely deal with are Renault in Paris, Mercedes in Stuttgart, and MAN in Munich. I would like to put some DAFs in Eindhoven, but Eindhoven isn't in the game. And the only way that Eindhoven will get into the game is if ProMods put it in, and again this is me putting a garage in a city that's not part of the official game, and so thereby is subject to conflict with official game updates. Whoa. I was going to overtake that, but for that oncoming car. No, we're not going to do that either. Don't particularly fancy becoming part of the front of a Scania. Right, so let's check out how long we've got until we have to rest. Ooh, just under 2 hours. I'm definitely going to have to rest twice for this journey. There's no ferry to... oh, shite. No. Okay, that didn't work out for me. This is why overtaking is dangerous, kids. It can lead to crashes and bad moods. So yes, that's... Realistically, it looks like of all of the truck manufacturers, realistically only 3 of them can have an official garage. One, Renault in Paris, Mercedes in Stuttgart, and MAN in Munich. Scania and Volvo are in Scandinavia, which is a ProMod update, a ProMod mod. Eindhoven isn't in there, so the only way I could get it in is to put it in Rotterdam, because Rotterdam's the closest city to Eindhoven. And therefore... and those are the only... Oh, what the hell are you doing? The AI really pisses me off. And as such, I am not spending another minute behind that bloody Mini. So, yes, I have to find somewhere to rest now. Oh, crap. That worked out better than expected. Certainly worked out better than the last time. So the Winter Olympics is probably very entertaining if you're into the winter sports, but I'm just not as into them. I remember, as I said, watching the 2012 Summer Olympics in London, both live and on telly, and I remember just discovering things. Like, I discovered handball. Handball, I was aware existed. I just, as a sport, I'd never watched it. And it's fantastic. It's frenetic and it's aggressive and it's great fun. I wish Britain had a better handball team than they do. They were truly appalling, and they almost certainly won't get to the Rio Olympics in 2016, which is, a shame. That's just the way it is. Oh no. Alright, so we've got a rest stop coming up, so we will plonk ourselves into that rest stop when we get onto the main road. We'll get some rest, probably earn a bit more cash towards our lorry. Let's snake by that guy because... Oh, no. Now we're holding him up, not the other way around. Actually, if we've got enough money, I might just, after this rest stop, if we've got enough money, I might just buy a truck and throw it in Paris. Actually, given that I only need one Volvo to complete the garages that I've already got outside Paris, maybe I should just put that last one... Ooh, excuse me. Oh, blimey, apologies. Oh, gosh. Engine off, fuel in. Okay, £468, 400.68 litres. Engine on. Let's park our asses and get some rest. Engine off. Let's rest. Alright. 86,000. Do you know what? We are going to buy that last... Actually, let's quickly check the garage. Oh, Brussels. I've got one in Brussels. Yes, let's fill up Amsterdam. Volvo, Luxembourg, buy online. Customize, engine, boom, firm, purchase, Amsterdam, in, off. Escape from that, recruitment agency, hire a driver. Okay, these are not looking good. 3, 2, 3. We're looking for someone with a nice spread of skills. So Hans has got a nice spread of skills. Actually, let us look at the first page, because that'll be the 1.7s. He's got just in time and fragile, Simon. Charles has got fragile and eco. Anyone with 4? No, let's go with one of the 1.7 drivers. So, let's go with Charles. Let's hire Charles, and we'll put him in Amsterdam in that lorry there. So, Brussels has got 1 driver. Brussels is our next target. Engine on. Oh, hang on, no, I don't want the radio. Let's turn that off. And let's rock. It's daytime, thank goodness it's daytime. Okay. Hopefully the rest of... Oh no, actually not the rest of this journey, because we've got one more sleep to go. So we've got a 21-hour journey time. We've got to sleep in 11 hours. So we have enough money in our purse, our bank, to cover our next loan instalment. That will happen possibly sometime before we have to have our next rest break. And I got a feeling this is going to be a 3-parter. Okay. So we have added that extra long. We have added long distance. We had added that extra skill point to long distance, which gives us the 2,000k journeys. The 2,000k journeys help us with our skill, with our leveling up. So that's probably what we're going to end up doing. So I wonder how long this is going to take. So yeah, the Olympics aren't really grabbing me. I'm just not watching enough of it. It's not on television. It's not relentless on television like the Summer Olympics was in the UK. Do you know what? I bet you I'd be watching a lot more of it if I was in the UK and I was watching it. I think that's the thing, is that New Zealand is quite a small market for local television, terrestrial television channel, and so it's difficult for terrestrial channels to compete financially with the might of Rupert Murdoch and his evil empire. I cannot tell you how much I hate Rupert Murdoch. There's no explanation for how vile and nasty and horrible his influence on the world is. He essentially goes around, he goes into a country, he buys up newspapers, TV stations, radio stations, and then installs an editorial line. You have to, if you want to stay employed in his company that he's just bought, you have to follow that editorial 3-line whip. So that's what's happened in the UK to the Sun, the Sun on Sunday, which used to be the News of the World, the Sunday Times and the Times newspaper. So what happened to Sky in the UK, which he was competing with another satellite broadcaster, British Satellite Broadcasting. British Satellite Broadcasting had better advertising revenue. It had a smaller dish, but it didn't have quite the access to satellites in the sky. Rupert Murdoch had the satellite system, but he didn't have much in the way of advertising. But he had deep pockets, and so he bought. Well, they merged. It became Sky and British Satellite Broadcasting became British Sky Broadcasting, but that lasted about 5 minutes before it became Sky. So that was a merger in name only. And he had deep pockets, and he realised that association football was the fastest way to grow his satellites system, the fastest way to get subscribers, and so he used the duplicitous scumbag Alan Sugar, who should not have been in the negotiations for who was going to get the TV broadcasting rights, given that he had a relationship with Sky, because Amstrad was making the set-top boxes for Sky. So he knew he was going to make a ton of money if Sky got the rights, because he was going to be able to sell Sky more boxes. So he quickly phoned, during the process, ITV had the biggest bid, and he quickly phoned and said, "You've got to put a bigger bid in, or ITV are going to win it." I could have been watching Premier League football on domestic terrestrial television if Alan Bloody Sugar hadn't interfered and instituted through a massive conflict of interest to unnaturally interfere with the bidding process. Now, football in the UK wouldn't have the money it has, because the ridiculous money that's thrown at English football is kind of totally unbalanced international football. It's turned the UK, particularly the English Premier League, into one of the top 3 places to go. The other 2 being Italy and Spain. Germany's slowly catching up, and France has got two teams with massively deep pockets. Paris Saint-Germain and Monaco. Monaco has deep pockets primarily because there's no income tax, and so players want to go to Monaco because they can earn a fat wedge and not pay any tax on it. Paris Saint-Germain has got an extraordinarily, staggeringly wealthy owner in the same manner as Chelsea and Manchester City. Whereas Barcelona and Real Madrid are trading off their history, and because they're owned by the city that they live in, they can't go bankrupt because the city will just throw more money at them. So they end up throwing more money at massive wages and players. Now, UEFA and its president Michel Platini are trying to institute changes to prevent that from occurring. Changes that include you cannot go more than 10%. You cannot spend in a year 10% more than you get in income, which means that teams have to find and generate new forms of income, which is why the likes of Manchester United and Liverpool and Chelsea have been going on Asian tours, so they can get fans, which means they can get revenue streams from shirt sales and from things like their online television service. They've got a thing called LFC TV, where you pay a subscription fee and you get to watch exclusive videos, and you get to watch the full football match in not particularly high definition after the match is finished. Which, to be honest, if you're on the other side of the planet, is not particularly a big deal. I'm in New Zealand, so a match might occur 3 o'clock in the afternoon. In the UK, it's on at 3 o'clock in the morning. So by the time I woke up at, say, 9 a.m, 10 a.m, I can sit and watch the match without... The sad thing is, I will know what the result is because they put the result in the video description, which is a bit annoying. So I tend to find out what the result is, and I tend to quickly check out whether the match was interesting or not. And if it was interesting, even if we lost, if it was an interesting match, I'll watch it. Sometimes, if I've got nothing better to do, I'll watch. I want to watch as many Liverpool matches as I can possibly do. It's the future. I would much rather... I don't want to give any money to Rupert Murdoch. That's a given. But I have a feeling I'm going to have no choice if I'm going to watch Liverpool play football in high definition when I'm back in the UK. Now, my way of doing it is to go through Virgin, because Virgin have a very fractious and tense relationship with Sky, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. It means that I'm protesting Sky while still getting some of their footage. But it means that I run the risk of losing that footage if the relationship between Virgin and Sky deteriorates to the point of no return. So I am not sure whether I'm doing a good thing. But I'm going to go TiVo when I go back to the UK. But obviously, because Sky and its evil empire, which gobbles up events, it's meant that the Olympics has become a bit of a non-event in New Zealand because hardly anybody watches it. Sky is always a minority broadcaster wherever it is, no matter how much money it's earning. The thing is, the reason it's got such deep pockets is it doesn't just charge a subscription fee from you, it also loads the channel with advertising, so it's getting money from both ends, which is despicable, absolutely disgraceful. If terrestrial channels with no subscription can broadcast and create content and be a viable channel, there's no reason why Sky has to charge money. Now you could say, well, they've got to have satellites and they've got to have infrastructure, but the fact is their infrastructure is no more expensive. Once the satellite's up, it's up. That's an expense, that's a one-time expense that's paid for, and that was put up 20 or 30 years ago, the Astra satellite. So there's that's no longer an expense. That's its launch and construction and design probably paid for a long time ago. Set-top boxes that they are incredibly cheap. They're probably £50, so you probably pay that back in your first 12 months of subscribing. Once you're a subscriber to these things, I mean, I had cable when I lived in Swindon, and there was a local cable provider called Swindon Cable, and I got the most appallingly cheap-looking box that probably cost a tenner to throw together. And I paid a subscription fee for a second box so that I could record one channel and watch another, which was really, I mean, this is how far we've come. Nowadays, set-top boxes come with 2, 3, and 4 tuners, so that you can watch one channel and record another, or another 2, or another 3. And this is what I want. I want my TiVo box with 4 tuners so that I can watch what I want, and TiVo learns what you like. So if it learns that I like Doctor Who, it will put loads of Doctor Who on my set-top box. Now the only downside of that is that Doctor Who is repeated all over the place. So I won't just get new Doctor Who, I'll get repeats of Doctor Who and old episodes of Doctor Who and this and that and the other. And now obviously that's not ideal, but it does learn the kind of thing you like, so it might stick to something that's similar to Doctor Who that I wouldn't have thought or I wouldn't have known existed. I love football, proper football, not American football, not Aussie rules football, but football, association football. So I will more than likely subscribe to the Premier League because I love football and I like watching it in high definition. I am loving watching the occasional game of football in high definition in the UK. I am absolutely loving it. In New Zealand, one in... God, what a scumbag. Did you see that? Clearly didn't look. Well, AI is just on a rail and not stopping. Sorry, it's not a matter of the AI not looking. It's on rails. It's a series of ones and zeros. It's not a living person that's capable of making decisions. Certainly, this AI is not capable of making decisions. That's for sure. I would love to see I'm really looking forward to the update. Now, so far with the last two updates, while I've been owning this game, the last two updates have included a truck. There is a truck I would like them to include in this game. It's the Ford Cargo. Now, I might have speculated about this before. At the moment, it's only really available in South America. But given that that they're making American Truck Simulator and Ford is an American company, it would make sense for them to want to include an American company, as many American companies in American Truck Simulator 2 as possible. And it doesn't seem like it would be impossible for them to include this, what the Americans call a cab over, what we in Europe call a conventional lorry. Doesn't seem like it would be a big deal for them to do so. Now, if they were to create it solely for Euro Truck Simulator 2, I would be ecstatic and over the moon. It does look like a European truck. I want more trucks to play with. I know I'm only playing with the Volvo here, but in my private profile, I'm playing with all sorts of trucks. Now, obviously this would be another manufacturer that I couldn't include as a garage because I believe that Ford manufactures its trucks in Spain. Well, it might have a facility in England, and if it has a facility in England, then it'd be nice to include it. But I've got a feeling the facility is in Oxford. Now, Ford have a plant in Liverpool. It's a place called Halewood. Now, if they were to do that, oh crap. Then I could make all the other 4 trucks. Oh, come on. In my garage, apart from the one I'm driving, I could make them Ford Cargos. That would be cool. But I am a Volvo man, and while I will certainly drive a Ford Cargo in streams and at the beginning of profiles, I am a Volvo man. I'm actually excited to see what Volvo come up with in their next version. So the current Volvo is 2013. We're in 2014. Next year we'll be in 2015. If they do a Euro Truck Simulator 3 in a year or two's time, will we? Oh, we need to go that way. Okay. Yes. It'd be nice if they expanded the number of lorries. It'd be nice if they put a few historic lorries in as well. Nice to see old manufacturers like Leyland and Foden. Things like that. be interesting to see them doing an Australia and New Zealand truck simulator as well, given that you can drive road trains in New Zealand and Australia, and they are perfect for the big rigs that they're currently creating for American Truck Simulator. And as a person who's currently living in New Zealand, it'd be interesting to see what they did with New Zealand, but I don't think that's going to be big enough a market for them to bother with. So I doubt they'll touch that. That would be the sort of thing that would be left up to mods, but there isn't one at the moment. That's for sure. It'd be nice if the Euro Truck Simulator and American Truck Simulator got merged, and then they were able to allow a global map for modders to use to create a world truck simulator. World Truck Simulator would be my hope. That they start with America and they do America, and then their next version of Euro Truck Simulator simply becomes World Truck Simulator, and they incorporate their map of Europe and their map of America, and maybe then include Asia. That would be fantastic. Can you imagine doing a huge journey from, say, Aberdeen in Scotland to Tokyo in Japan? Can you imagine that journey? That would be a month. That would be a marathon journey. We're up to 17,000 from 5,000, so that's good. So we had 5,000 after our rest, and we bought a truck after that rest. So yes, I know I keep making plans and then reneging on my plan to fill Paris with Renaults before I went anywhere else, but I'm thinking I might put the remaining 2 Volvos in Amsterdam, given that the Volvos are only about £80,000, and the cheapest Renault I can construct seems to be about 88,000. I was convinced that I could get a Renault for 70, but I think I have to find more Renault dealers. I have to find a cheaper Renault dealer, because the Renault dealer I'm using in Paris is not cheap at all, and I think that's my problem. So I'm going straight through, so I don't want to be on that lane. So I started talking about the Olympics, but I keep veering off into other subjects like Sky and this game. And that's fine. I kind of run out of things to talk about the Olympics, to be honest. I'm not watching it, and I thought this journey would be shorter than it's turning out to be. Okay, why are we going into Scandinavia? Where are we? Oh yes, of course we're going into Scandinavia, idiot. Because we're going to Hønefoss. I had it in my head that we were going into Poland. That's silly. I thought... No, Germany. I don't know. I had my... yeah. But we are doing well. I mean, look how much of the map we've discovered. There's still 4 cities, 5 cities in Poland, 5 cities in Germany. There's a bunch of France. There's 1 city in Switzerland, 1 city in Austria. So I discovered Modena. I was convinced I discovered Modena. Oh well. Budapest, capital of Hungary. We haven't discovered that. So yes, I do wish this map put maybe a white ring around the cities where you've got a garage. That would be useful to know. Anyway, enough of this nostalgia. Let's get on with this journey. So we're getting into Scandinavia. Those 4 flags were for Scandinavia, to tell us that we're entering Scandinavia. And we're leaving Germany. We're going to have a rest in 4 hours. but it might be that we can string it out until we get to the ferry at the top, or at Copenhagen, I think. Possibly not. I think that might be a stretch too far, but we'll see. I'm loving this cab. I've got a test profile where I'm testing out a bunch of mods, and one of the mods I'm testing is called the Real Physics mod. Now, unfortunately, the Real Physics mod is one of these mods that suffers whenever the developer of the game makes changes to it, and you have to take the mod out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with that mod in my test profile until 1.9, which is the next SCS update comes out, which is supposed to be the AI update. I am going to see whether that realistic physics mod still works with 1.9, and then if it works with 1.9, I'm probably going to include it in this, because it does actually add something to the driving experience. The cab moves around in a way that it should move around. The load moves around in a way that it should move around, that it doesn't in the standard game. But I'm going to wait until I do a lot of repeating myself. I don't know if you've noticed. As I've said 3 times now, I'm going to wait until I have installed 1.9 and driven 1.9 with the test profile. Now the test profile, it's keeping. I'm not going to test ProMod files, because I'm pretty confident that ProMods knows what they're doing, and if they make a mistake they fix it really quickly. They launched the Northern France mod on Christmas Day. There were a couple of issues, and before the New Year they had it all up and running. New Year's like 7 days later. So they had it fixed really quickly, and the way to avoid it was to not go to the new cities. If there are faults, don't go to the new cities. So that's what I did. So I'm fairly confident that I won't need to test the ProMods maps editions. Now, at the moment, it looks like the next add-on is going to head south. Now, France connects to Spain in the bottom, in the southwest corner of France, and so they're aiming in that direction. But it looks like it's going to be a little while before they get there, and so until they've actually got there, the guy doing the Spanish map is actually doing Italy, because Italy's already connected to the map. So there's no extra work required for him to add the Italian cities. Now that does mean that I'm going to have to remove the 2 cities that I added. I think it's Modena and Parma. They're going to have to come off, because it's not going to match up with the cities that and the road network that ProMod's putting in. And given that ProMods are adding so much to this map, I'd rather have the ProMods part of Italy than those 2 cities that I've got at the moment. Given that the 2 cities I've got do have issues, like huge holes in the road that your truck bounces into. I'm glad I've got them. I'm glad I'm driven them. Wish I'd known that I hadn't visited Modena. I was sure I'd visited Modena. We'll try and go to Modena before ProMods overwrites it, and we'll try and get all of that section of the map done so that I can experience it. And then we will overwrite it with, we'll unclick the mod and install the Italian map. Now, at the moment, the ProMods chap has just done Genoa. That's all he's done. I'm hoping he goes to Rome. Rome is what I really want. Rome, capital city of Italy. What I would also love is SCS to come up with a whole bunch of new drivers and images for the drivers, so that I could not have to worry about the number of garages and drivers that I've got. That is a good point, actually. I could put garages in ProMods cities without putting a driver in them. I could just put a garage in, and then I've always got a petrol station in town wherever I go. That's an interesting idea. But we're not going to do it now, because we'll do that when I've done committed to certain conditions, and those are capital cities in all of the SCS developed cities, and garages in cities with a truck manufacturer. So at the moment, I believe that's only Paris. I forgot Iveco. Iveco are in Turin. So Paris is Renault, Iveco is Turin. Wrong way around, sorry. Paris has Renault, Turin has Iveco, Stuttgart has Mercedes, and Munich has MAN. Oh, sugar. Yeah, I really screwed the pooch this time. Damn it. I should have seen that coming. Now I've got 5% damage instead of 1%, so... Oh, that sounds awful. We've got those horrible noises again, and we've got 12 hours to go. How are we doing? We need sleep into... Oh, come on. Really? How slow? Okay, no, we... Yeah, I'm going to have to go into Wellborg. Actually, maybe not. It's not that much. A huge chunk of this journey is going to be... on a boat. We've got 12 hours left. I would imagine 10 of those, 11 of those are going to be on that boat. Ugh. We've got 22 hours to do this, so we're cutting it fine. This is why I'm kind of taking these risks, is that I know that I've got a limited amount of time to get there before I get sleepy. Let's get past this stupid logger. What we can do without is this lorry crapping up on me too much, because that slows you down considerably. And what we want is we need to dash to the ferry, because I am running out of memory on my camera, on my iPhone. So we need to get this done quickly. So we're up to 22,500 on our income. It's probably going to go up another amount. Another significant chunk with our ferry ride, because that'll be 10 to 11 hours, which will be a rest cycle. And then we'll get 3 rest cycles at the end of the journey, at the beginning of the next journey. So we might have enough money at the beginning of the next rest cycle to fill Amsterdam with the remaining 3 trucks. Then we'll focus on Paris and its Renaults. So doing alright. No. This is that Aalborg stupidity where the thing drags you off the road, and then brings you back onto it for no apparent reason whatsoever that ProMods can explain. It's not the only place that it happens. I've discovered another location where it occurs. So okay, I might get a speeding ticket here, but at this point I'm trying to get to the ferry port before I run out of time. And it may not work. It's happened before where I've been speeding to a ferry port and it's run out just as I'm turning in. And thankfully I've got a little beep on my camera on my iPhone that tells me when it's stopped recording, so I can instantly stop playing, which I've had on mute on occasion, and it's cost me. I did a huge chunk from Portsmouth to Croydon. Was it Portsmouth to Cambridge? I did a huge chunk from Portsmouth to Cambridge in an earlier video where I'd started, pressed the record button and it instantly stopped. Like seconds later it stopped and I didn't notice, and it recorded none of that journey, which is an annoyance. I'm also having issues with, I think I was trying to talk about it earlier, I'm having problems with Movie Maker in that it's not turning out the HD video files that I need for YouTube. And so you press play and you can't watch them, which is infuriating. There's nothing I can do. What happens then is you can't upload the video because it won't play, it won't upload. It fails to recognise the video format. So I'm cutting it fine with this. I'm also approaching the time I've got to sleep. But yes, there it is. Thankfully there's the ferry port. I can see it. Hopefully we can get on the ferry. Let's get in this. Wait. I don't travel too slowly, guys, because I need to get on that ferry. And here we are. Oh, of course we've got a red light. Of course we've got. Oh no, that's not for us. That's good. Yeah, alright. I get it that you're damaged. I apologise, that's totally my fault. But at this point, please. Right, which way do I go? Oh, that's parking, so we're going this way. And let's get ourselves on the ferry. And there we are. We're on the ferry, right. And all is good. So we get our rest break on the ferry. Where are we going? Oslo. Embark. £196. Alright, and with that, I'm going to pause. To upload this bit of footage. We are off the ferry. Oh, it looks foggy. Oh, you can hear my poor little... Oh, it's raining. That's not good. But we're very near our destination, an hour and 49 minutes. It's like 2 or 3 minutes of real time. So that's good. Oh, listen to the poor little thing. She's moaning like and complaining. She's not happy. Veronique the Volvo. Okay. Well, this guy's going to annoy me. Oh, the rain is so loud. Come on, young fella. We can't all poodle along at 5 miles an hour. Some of us have got an injured truck that needs to be repaired. So we're at Oslo. Well, we've already been to Oslo. We've delivered Oslo. You can see the word Oslo is on the mini-map is golden, so telling us we've discovered it. Right. Let's hope this dude is turning right. No, he's going straight on. It's fine. That's fine by me. He's not in front of me is all I care about. And we're off. So yes, I need to find an alternative piece of editing software for doing these videos, because Movie Maker's it's very simple to use, it's fine, it's not very robust. And when I'm making movie files, some of them it's not liking that. It's not anything longer than an hour and say 20 minutes, and it's not interested. And files, huge files, it's not interested. I'm also having a problem with another file that I can't. There's a tiny little section where it causes the playback to stop, which I don't understand. So that's video 37, which I kind of had to put to one side while I make other videos, and then I discovered to my considerable anger that the last 3 videos that I had made, 41, 42 and 43, I made them, Movie Maker went through all the run process and everything, but when I go to play, they won't play. When I hit play, they won't play. Which means that they won't upload to YouTube, because YouTube checks to make sure they work, I think. Or it finds a fault. It finds a fault, it refuses to complete the upload, or it just sits there pretending to upload for days. Now, it takes long enough for these videos to upload anyway. So, sitting there for 2 days uploading and nothing happening is just irritating. So I've got to find something other than Movie Maker, which is a shame, because it means I might have to buy something, which I was kind of hoping to avoid. Okay. And we've got a toll road. We can't be in France, can we? Now we've got a wiggly woggly road coming up. We've got a bit of a weave coming up. These buses never have any passengers, have you noticed? £8, that's fine. £8 is better than £151 I had to pay near Stockholm. Well, I reckon this is going to be a satisfactory given the amount of damage that's been done to the trailer. I think it's 5%. So I think I'm looking at a satisfactory, not even a good work. But we'll see. So I've got to be careful I don't scrape the trailer along that concrete wall. I've got an itchy nose. So yeah, it's a bit soul destroying having made 3, because it takes a long time to a movie maker file. It probably takes an hour to edit, and then it probably takes about 4 or 5 hours to convert it into an HD MPEG-4 file, and then it takes 6 to 12 hours to upload to YouTube, depending on local traffic and the size of the video and yada yada yada. And so it's a long investment of time. We're talking, it's probably taken 2 days each for those 3 videos, and they've not worked. And it's soul destroying. It's so much pointless, so much work, so much time wasted. There's nothing I can do about it. I've just got to find another piece of editing software, or maybe some more robust plugins for Movie Maker, or find a way of streamlining the process. But I don't know how. There you go. Such is life. And wow, this is quite. This reminds me of the mountain roads in Italy and Switzerland. Not quite as bad, but not far off. So we're getting close to our destination. Could have done without that guy pottering in front of us. Oh, they slow down. It's just so unbelievably infuriating. You get within 2 in-game feet of them, and they have a heart attack and hit the brakes, which is actually more likely to cause damage than if they stuck their foot down, or if they just kept going at the pace they were going before they had the little digital heart attack. So you can see the destination. If you look in the bottom right hand corner in the GPS, you can see the destination winking at us. So no, we're not far away. Now I would imagine that Hønefoss has either only got 1 discoverable or no discoverables, but we'll give the road network a bit of a good seeing to, given that we've got another 10 hours. And Hønefoss is possibly not a destination I'm going to reacquaint myself with, and I want to get as much of this map discovered as possible. Right. Here we go. Actually, no, it's not Hønefoss. It's an out-of-town logging site. Oh well, we'll do all of that pootling around in the next video, where hopefully it won't be raining. Right. straighten up. And let's back in and hope that we can get this in as few goes as possible. And that's the plan. The reason you want it with a keyboard that you don't want to go too fast backwards is it's very difficult to make the kind of minute corrections with a keyboard that you can with a steering wheel, because the keyboard is a progressive turn rather than an immediate change of direction. Way, there we go. Oh, in one. Wonderful. Right. Out of reverse. Parking brake on. Wipers off. Engine off. Unhook the trailer. What did we get? Satisfactory. I did say that we would get a satisfactory. Oh, I don't want to know what the fine is. Right, so satisfactory delivers diggers from Paris to Hønefoss. Distance driven 1,504 kilometres. Time taken 40 hours and 8 minutes. Fuel consumed 597.8 litres. So our base reward is £25,509 and 1,504 XP. Our level 23 proficiency bonus is £8,800. Our skill rank 4 long distance delivery bonus is £3,725 and 376 XP. Our skill rank 4 high value cargo bonus is £4,966 and 270 XP. Our urgent delivery bonus for skill rank 3 is £3,725 and 451 XP. You notice that the two skill rank rewards were actually different. That's the first time that the monetary reward for same level skill rank has been different. So, bonus for parking the trailer was 45 XP, which is almost mitigates the what looks like 61 XP we lost for crashing the truck. So the damage penalty was a 5%, which cost us £595, and as already stated, 61 XP. So our total reward for this journey, £46,130 and 2,585 XP. And we levelled up. We're still a master, but we're up to level 24. So our profile lifetime XP is 64,267, and our new target for level 25 is 68,200. That's excellent. That's really exciting. So that's the end of that video. There was a little bit of a disaster in there, and I did ramble on. I was intending to talk about the Olympics all the way through that, but I ended up talking about this game and about other things, cyclists and other random subjects. So apologies for that, but thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you very much if you've watched even a minute of this video. And I hope you will watch more of my videos. And so until the next Keyboard Road Warrior video, I'll see you on the road.